Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In this video lesson, I'm going to create a small piece of art focused on nature. And my table is full of stuff because I'm going to give you some alternatives of what you can use if you don't have the necessary supplies. So I'm going to go over the supplies first that I can clear off the table. So a stencil I'm going to be using, it's just like a little detail stencil here. This comes from the Personally Yours Between the Lines. These are layering stencils, and I'm using the actual piece that creates the pattern. Okay. Now, if you don't, oh boy, where am I going to put this? Now, if you don't have this, you can use anything. You can use that, make sequins, the leftover stuff. I don't even know what that's called, tulle or something. I don't know. But you can use that stuff. You can take paper, make hole punches, packaging. It doesn't matter what you use. You can use anything you want just to create a subtle background accent. That takes care of that. Stamps, anything. I'm going to be showing you this stamp, and then I'm going to show you my paper towel core for a stamp and a piece of authentic cork for a stamp. So that's just to create an interest. For the actual substrate, I'm just using a piece of packaging that I've gessoed in a batch of other cards with a bunch of other cards, nice and thick. You can use whatever you want, cardboard, canvas, wood, doesn't matter. I've got this little piece of something. I don't know what this is. This is my friend Allison. Thank you. And I'm going to be tearing this out to create some detail. I mean, you can probably figure out something that you can use. Just even use paper to tear out. I'm going to create some texture and visual interest by taking dictionary paper and stamping some trees. And all I did was I just used these trees, which I used in a previous project. You don't have a tree stamp? Hand paint it, hand draw it. It doesn't matter. Dictionary paper, this was destined for landfill. If you can't find dictionary paper, just go online to graphicsfairy.com and bring in one of her free downloads. The feature for me is going to be these little birds. This is from my friend Cheryl. Thank you, Cheryl. That's just a little cutout. You don't have something like this, drop by hand and cut it out. Pretty simple. And for the quote, I've got this that I picked up a long time ago. And I don't know, maybe Michael's or something. I don't know. Joe picks a lot of that stuff out for me that he doesn't think I can work with to challenge me. It says explore. Don't have something for quotes? Handwrite it. Doesn't matter. Okay, I think that covers that. Now for the paint. If you're watching me, it's likely that you've already seen some of my color theory videos. With these colors, if you don't have them, head on over to the Facebook group unless you're there already and take the color theory course, because it goes through how you can get thousands of colors with a very limited palette. So what I've got is a DecoArt Media line. I've got the white gesso, matte medium, and then I've got raw umber, the fluid acrylics, raw umber, quinacridone magenta, phthalo green blue, titanium white. And I've got cobalt teal hue. I'm going to show you an alternative with that. And I've got the DecoArt Traditions phthalo blue, only because I'm out of the phthalo blue in the fluid acrylics. And all DecoArt products are interchangeable with each other. And I also have the Traditions cerulean blue. I'm going to show you an alternative for that as well. I'm out of breath. Okay. Try to make this fast. Oh, I narrowed it down to 3 minutes and 45 seconds for the supplies. There we go. All right. So to save some time, like I said, I've already primed this with gesso. You're just going to take a card and you're going to take white gesso and you're going to apply it there. And you can apply it with a brush, a little cloth. I'm going to show you with a little cloth. You can scrape it. It doesn't matter. Remember, the thicker you put it on, the longer it takes to dry. So you can just put it on. And if you have packaging in your pantry, like food packaging, especially stuff that can't go into your recycle bin, if it's destined for landfill, use that stuff. Use the stuff that can't be recycled. That way you're saving it from going into landfill. Okay, then we're going to let that dry. Now what we're going to do is, to save some time, is we're going to prep some of the pieces. So the focal point, I'm not too worried about painting this in great detail. If I were to use, I'm thinking like a chromatic black was what I'm going for. Because I'm going to be painting this with a washy color, I'm going to paint it now So I'm taking roughly equal parts of the quinacridone magenta and raw umber, then a speck of phthalo green. I took way too much phthalo green. Here we go. So this is going to be leaning a little bit more on the purple side. The phthalo green is phthalo green blue. There we go. The raw umber is just to give it a little bit of opacity. And if you want to see the true underlying color, you bring in some white. And that's what we've got. Isn't that beautiful? A color you don't have to buy. Now I do have a video coming up of, let's see, what's it called? Wrote it down. 25 chromatic black variations using a limited palette. There we go. And I'm just going to, I'll put that up here. So very, very washy. It's just a stain like that. Okay, take you, put you on top of the gesso to dry. There we go. Done. We're going to need that for later while that's drying. Now to take this, so I'm going to, the idea is I'm going to take this, oh, I already talked about the stamp, right? Yeah, so I'm going to put that away. So I've got that stamped on there, so I'm going to do this, but I'm not leaving it like that. I'm going to cut it out. And what I'm looking for is just a strip to go behind the paper. Like that. Okay. Oh, I didn't make it long enough. Did I? So what can I do? I can cut it in half and then make it longer like that. There we go. Takes care of that. So thank you so much, Allison, for sending that to me. And I need to paint that. And I'm going to paint that white. So I'm going to take, let's see. I don't know if that'll be thick enough. Oh yeah, that's fine. Problem with using the fluid acrylics white, because it's a fluid acrylic, you need to put usually 3 or 4 layers because it's fluid. It's very thin. But for this, it should be all right. Take that, we'll put that, oh, we'll just put that there to dry. And all these little kitchen cloths that I'm using, they can't go into recycle. They're for landfill. I save them, and what I do is use them in art for texture. All right, what's next? Okay, we can stencil that now. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to just stencil that roughly. And I'm going to grab my brush. No, not going to grab my brush. Can I use this? Minimal, minimal, minimal waste. Where we have to be careful is because this stuff, I'm just going to pad this. Oh yes, I don't think this is going to work. Not everywhere. And I'm not going to reload. Keep it light. Some areas really light. I'm going to go into some white. Like that. Yay! I've been having some trouble with some pieces. It's nice when something works out. And like those pieces I was having trouble with, Joe goes, don't post those. I said, no. I said, because I tell people in the group, and if you're watching on YouTube, please go to the group because you'll see what I'm talking about. I tell people in the group, put yourself out there. Don't strive for perfection. Get it done. Done is better than nothing, eh? Done is better than perfect. So I can't not, I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't post it. Then he goes, okay. I'm going to just hit this with the heat gun for a sec. Get that out of the way. I'm getting distracted by the colors. All right, so let's see. Now, with the dictionary paper, I want to paint that. So here are the options. I want to paint this a blue. My heat gun's going to fall on the floor. I want to paint this with a translucent blue. So you can make a blue taking phthalo blue, a little bit of phthalo green with some white, and then play with the variations, but be careful on the white because that's going to make it opaque. You can take cobalt teal hue, which is a single pigment, and you can take some cerulean blue as well, which is nice. So you don't have to mix something. Like the cerulean blue is already in my extended palette, so it's there, but you can make cerulean blue easily with phthalo blue and white. So if I take some phthalo blue and some phthalo green, like look at that. Come on. I mean, holy smokes. That is gorgeous. But that's going to be really, really strong. Really strong on that paper. So my option is to take a baby wipe, load the baby wipe, and pat that. And the paper curls. Just like that. Get some white, leave some white space in there, some areas that aren't covered. Okay? Turn it around to baby wipe side, just a clean baby wipe side, and just go back over just to pick up a little bit of extra. Go to another clean area, pat it some more. And basically I'm going to do that until nothing else comes up, and I think that's pretty well it. You notice the paper isn't curling as much because now the paper's wet. So I went from that to that. With a brush, there's no way I could have gotten this without adding so much water. Okay, so now I'm just going to put that. So I'll put that there to dry. Now these pieces, which should be good to go. Oh, no, I can't. I need this. So now I'm going to position that. You know what? Let me do some stenciling, stamping first, because that's still wet. That's still wet. Okay. I'm going to use StazOn and hopefully be able to get something out of that. And all I'm doing is I'm randomly going to stamp. Oh, it came back to life. Look at that. I'm just randomly going to stamp that. That one is nicer. I didn't think I had anything left in the stamp. Jeepers. Okay. I'll put that aside. So that takes care of that. Now, let's do this. Let's take the paper towel core. And I'll go into this chromatic black as well. Okay. Oops. Oops, 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 oops. Paper towel. Paper towel. That's going to be covered up anyways. And you can even use a cork. Now the corks, it's not, I don't think it's cork all the way through, is it? I don't know. But I can just go into something. Well, I can take that. A little bit of white. I'll go where it's going to be covered up. Yeah, this is nice. Just a little bit. I want to try to neutralize that a little bit. There we go. Just to kind of add a little bit of extra accent. I'm going to dry that for a sec. All right, now we can do this. So I'm going to position this in a way that it sticks out. Like that. Okay, so right there. I'm going to take the matte medium. Oh, I have to use a clean brush. Right there. Right there. So you can see that it didn't quite cover. Didn't quite cover everything. I'm making a mark here so I know where it has to go. Didn't quite make it white. I could have used gesso as well. Feel free to always to use gesso if you don't have any titanium white. Gesso has some good tooth. Usually it's more economical than titanium white. I'm going to apply a layer of matte medium over the whole piece, because now I'm going to be gluing, whoopsie, gluing that paper. And then upside down. And by painting both sides, by applying the matte medium to both sides, you have some wiggle room because it'll be slippy. If you only apply it to one side, then the matte medium is going to go right in and you're not going to be able to move it around as easily. Uh-oh. You know, I've been saying that a lot lately. Only because chaos is constantly in here trying to get at stuff, and that's why I'm always doing uh-oh. No. That's what I want. No. Too far apart. See? If I had just put it on one side, that would have been fused. I'm trying to get these trees. And make sure you clean your hands after using this matte medium. Now it's all on my nails. It is just, because when I get creating, I don't want to take time to wash my hands. I should. I should. Yeah, that's all right. Now I can choose to cut this or go right around the back. I'm just going to go right around the back, because if you're doing this as an actual artist trading card or something, you're going to put a label on the back anyways. Hopefully I wasn't off camera there. There we go. Nice. So now I have to let that dry. And while that's drying, all that's left now is just really is to glue the bird on. Let's check the color. Not quite dark enough. So while we're here, why don't we take that brush, come in. Let's just paint that in. It's gonna be very, I want it washy. Like some parts will have splotches of the paint, some parts will be lighter, some parts will be darker. Like that. You can also take your thing and then just dip it into the paint. Like that. You get some nice variations. Try not to do that with delicate paper, because it'll fall apart. All right, drying time. So that's it. So now I'm going to wait for that to dry, and then when we come back, all we have to do is glue everything together. So you know what I was thinking about this? You could always add some stamping to this. And I've got this little stamp that says celebrate. I don't care for the word, it's just the little words. And I can just, it doesn't really show up much, but it just adds, it just breaks up that boring blue. There we go. Just breaks up that boring blue. I can just take whatever leftover text is right here. There we go. Look at that. We're celebrate there. See? Voila. Just leftover. And I had to put a few layers of paint on that. That turned out really nice. So now we just have to glue it together. So coming back, I'm going to put another layer of matte medium over the whole thing, because I also have to put the quote, which the adhesive is worn off. Oh, I should have, I wonder if I have time. Yeah. Okay, I skipped a step. Let's do it with we'll do it with raw umber. Just do the edges. You can use ink as well if you want. You don't have to use paint. Paint is permanent though. But do it before you put the matte medium on there. No, I'm not going to edit this out, make it look perfect. There we go. At least it finishes that. Boom. Now come back and avoid touching the edge, except on this side. And I'm going to put a little bit of matte medium on this. And because we use paint on this, it's not going to dissolve. And I'm going to stick this, I might stick this out over a little bit further. I want it in the upper third. I don't want it right in the middle. Actually, what if I could stretch it out a bit? There we go. Right in the corner. That way it makes sense, because I didn't want to have to cut that, and then we're gonna, eye's gonna go down this way. If you had the time, what you could do, where the birds are, you could take some liquid glass and fill them up. The card's bending. You can fill them up, and that way it'll look like it's got a glossy layer to it. You just have to put a little bit more medium around where it's overlapping that extra layer of that holy paper, that paper with all the holes in it. Allison, if you can let me know what that is, either send me a private message or email. I can't remember what it is. You told me, I just don't remember. And now for the little sign, the adhesive wore off, so I just have to put some there. You can use Gorilla Glue if you want, doesn't matter. Right on the bottom. Done. Minus the screw-ups, I think this is probably a 20-minute project. And just go back over. Make sure it's nice and dark. You can even use the black if you want. Just be careful that you don't get any on the front of the card while it's wet. I'm playing it dangerous right now because the card is wet and I'm really struggling to keep everything straight. Stop! All right, done. Look at that. I love that. So that just has to dry now. Did I use that brush? No, that just has to dry now. And then it'll be good to go. Now I can choose when this is dry to add a layer of varnish if I wanted to. There's a chaos hair here. Add a layer of varnish to it if I want, or leave it flat. But what I think would look nice is, because this is the focal point here, is I could varnish a high gloss or even use triple thick on just the birds, and that would be quite interesting. All right, so that's it. So I would love to see your take on this. by taking just a card, random stamps, a cutout, paper with text, paint trees, get your quote, you know, do what I did, but use alternatives. I guess that would be a really good challenge. Use alternatives to create your own version of this piece, and post it in the pictures in the comment below in the Facebook group. And if you have any specific questions or want specific feedback, make sure you ask for that feedback. Don't just post a picture and just leave it, because we're not going to know what you want. So if you need help with color or composition or alternative supplies, or something you're trying to do and it doesn't quite work, post a question. And if you just want feedback on what your piece looks like, just say, here's my piece, did it, what do you think? And there you go. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And what would you like to explore in your artistic adventure in the next 6 months? So maybe you can post that below, what you're looking at trying something new in art, something that's not comfortable, something you've never done before, but something you'd really like to try. So I'd love to hear it. All right, so until I see you in the next video, stay inspired.